Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Jedi In Exile. We are here talking about the Bad Batch again. We're rattling through these episodes now, Matt. So we are on episode 5, Entombed. I feel like Dave Filoni had just watched Moana. This was the Disney Star Wars crossover that we needed. So Heart of Te Fiti,
Heart of the Mountain.
the Heart of the Mountain. So let's get into it. Talk to me about your thoughts on the episode.
So, I'm a bit torn with this one because
he's Natalie Imbruglia. He's Natalie Imbruglia.
I love this show, and I love.
I love democracy.
And, yeah.
I love the Republic.
And I love Star Wars, and I've loved the Bad Batch as like a concept.
Yeah.
All through season 1. I enjoyed the episode. That's about as much as I can say.
Right, well, that's review over.
Yeah, there we go. Done. Let's cut the next 10 minutes out.
It was a bit of a strange one. Like, I was waiting for something a bit more to happen. So I know, obviously, they took, like, what I thought to begin with was, like, a holocron or something. But obviously it's this long, like, stone that, you know, the heart of the mountain. And when they took that out and the kind of Pokemon-y type creature came out of the mountain, I was like, oh, okay, this is quite cool. And then they shut it down within like 2 minutes, and that was kind of the end of it.
So my big issue with this episode, and I hate using this word because I really don't want to be seen as being negative over something I do genuinely love. But my big issue with this episode was when we talked about last week's episode, and we talked about the fact that it kind of felt a bit like filler, but we were like, oh, well, you know, it showed a new side to Tech. We got a little bit of an insight into like Sid's like life and background a little bit. Yeah. So there were a few things.
That you could take from it. Yeah.
What did this give us?
Yeah.
Because I'm not seeing anything that might be like, oh, it might come back in a couple extra episodes.
Yeah. The only thing I think it allowed, I wouldn't even say to explore the character more, but obviously the lady who they're with, and the name escapes me at the minute, but I just know her. She's in episode 1 of The Big Bang Theory. She's like the nurse when Leonard and Sheldon walk into the sperm bank. She's the nurse there doing the crossword. Like, I think that her character clearly is going to play quite a big part, I think, in this series of The Bad Batch, and almost like a different version of Sid.
But I actually don't know if we learn much about her.
That's why I almost wanted to say we've explored that character more, but we haven't. She was just in the episode.
The only thing we know is
they clearly her and Hunter have a lot of disagreements
from the very start when she's telling that story, and one of the, I can't remember if it's Tech or if it's Echo, is like, or is like, she's told that story three different ways or
Tech,
whatever,
isn't it? Yeah.
That we obviously know that she's a bit of a typical kind of like smuggler, she's pirate,
female Hondo.
Yeah, she is. She is a female Hondo. That kind of like bit of a blagger, bit of a Del Boy type character. But we found that out in the first 30 seconds of the episode, and then 25 minutes later, I'm like, what else are we learning here?
Well, this episode may be geared up to maybe what's going to come in the next one, because obviously at the end they were talking about going on their next mission. She'd heard rumours about some other treasure that.
But I feel like that's not going to be the follow-on episode.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, we think there's 16 episodes like there was in Series 1. And to be fair, in Series 1 of The Bad Batch, as much as I enjoyed nearly every single episode, I was waiting for what was going to happen to the clones and what was going to happen to Kamino. Because clearly we know that's not in, the original trilogy. So that was what I was waiting for. And the actual, destruction of Kamino basically happened right at the end. And I'm kind of waiting for this series to give me an inkling of
where we're building,
where we're going to. And I'm obviously, with this series, it is different because we don't know what we're expecting. Like, I knew something would happen with Kamino because clearly something did have to happen. So this series, I'm still a bit in the unknown.
The only thing that they introduced this concept, didn't they, of the ancients, who are like the people that came like long before the Jedi and stuff.
Yeah.
Which we don't really know tons about that sort of stuff,
No.
because
the Jedi are about 25,000 years old.
But also
like,
the stuff that we used to know, we don't know anymore because it's not canon.
And that's
anymore.
what I was about to say. So in the non-canon world, it was 25,000 years ago, wasn't it? But I don't know about the canon, actually how far back the Jedi in theory go.
So but I also feel like this definitely, to me, wouldn't be the obvious show to explore that more in.
No.
Because I feel like it would need to be something to do with the Force.
Yeah.
And therefore it's going to be about different characters.
Unless Gunji is the answer.
Yeah, well, maybe. But no, I don't know. The one thing I don't know if it is an Easter egg or not that I thought was quite cool.
Could you try again?
Sorry. The one thing that I thought that I don't know if it was an Easter egg, a deliberate Easter egg or not, but like the weird mech that they were in, the weird machine thing that they were in that was destroying everything, really reminded me of the Temple Guardians in Fallen Order.
Yes.
Like the head shape
was
very similar. The like firing the beam thing was very similar. I don't know if that's deliberate or not. Like I don't know if the whole point is that the people in the temple were made by the ancients.
Well, it gave me some kind of Rebels vibes with the whole how like the stones were almost like illuminated, like they had the lines go through them, and that really reminded me of a few of the scenes in Rebels, like the temple they go to, where I think Yoda speaks to Ezra.
Yeah.
Because that's all kind of lit up in that kind of way, and I thought, oh, Dave Filoni, the spider's web and all that, everything connecting together, but I suppose time will tell. Listen, and I'm glad we're not doing scores for these episodes. We felt like they were a bit too short, weren't they, to do. We normally rate every episode out of 10. It's hard to do it on the Bad Batch because they're kind of 20-minute episodes. But this one is safe to say wouldn't score very highly on it as a standalone.
I'm happy and hope that I'm proven wrong with what comes in the rest of the season, but I feel like this was by definition a filler episode. So it is what it is.
Absolutely.
And we'll wait and see what happens over the next few weeks as the episodes come out. But other than that, guys, if you've been enjoying this sort of content when we do these reviews, you can check out some of the other reviews and other awesome content that we do right here. And other than that, we'll see you all real soon in the next one.
May the Force be with you all.